Yes, people, I am back. Secret sister, I am back in the house. Thank you for all your support, the people that are supporting me. Yeah, and thank you to the people that are watching and not supporting. I have to say thank you to both of you because whether you watch and press any of the buttons, the like, share, notification, yes, recognition for me is fine. But today, we are just going to just have like a little, I don't know what you want to call it, story time or whatever. As I do, I'm always going on about families and, you know, how some families are really disconnected, like mine. You understand? The D family and the J family. I'm having a little, what can I call it? We're going to have a little chat with Miss P, and maybe not today. I'm going to see if she's available, but maybe not today. But she is up for talking about her story, which, I've told you about the brother and sister that had a baby. Yeah, that story we are going to continue. But today we are going to talk about, I've talked about this already, but this week is bank holiday week, and I had a trip to St. Thomas's Hospital. Yes, for my son. We just had a little checkup. All is well. Thank you, Jesus. He's doing very well and progressing like the little button that he is. But yes, the all purpose podcast today, we are going to talk about the J family. I just want to rinse them a little bit today. So, I was talking to one of my cousins this week, and it's really ironic that I've started this podcast and it's kind of prompted other people, this particular cousin saying that he wants to do a podcast now. He's always wanted to do it. And, so I was kind of shocked still, And I think he's quite impressed with my little setup and the way that I just talk what I want to talk and say what I want to say. So he wants to set up a podcast talking about Muslims. So for me, I was a little bit like, wow, that's a little bit, because this particular cousin, you don't even know your family history, but you want to chat about the Muslim them. So I'm going to know how you know about them and you don't know about your own people. Because you've got Oliver Pickney with a surname and they're not attached to that name. We'll go into that into a minute. Anyway, he carried on and said, yeah, I've been wanting to do this podcast, and it's Muslims I want to talk about. He heard about some Muslim people that are, I don't know, I think they're engaging with younger men, engaging with younger ladies, that it's not age appropriate. And I thought all the things that he wants to talk about happen in the West Indian population and culture, it's happening in his own family. So I'm saying to him, I mean, you can't even hold a conversation. What you're gonna call the podcast? He hasn't got a clue. He just sees something, envy it. To me, it's envy because at the end of the day, you're not bigging up my team. You understand what I'm saying? I know that you're watching it, but you want to talk about Muslims and so I'm saying to him, you know, if you're gonna do it, at least do your little research. He's not on no social media. So I'm saying, you see how envy can just make people just wander. And then my time is saying Brock too. If you're Brock, you understand? You got your narcotics to buy, yeah? How are you gonna do this? It's only envy in your head. And he's even telling me that he's got his son that can help him and everything like that. So I'm saying, why don't you stick with what you know? Yourself, your mum, your brother. There's a holy testimony right there, sir. You understand? So my cousin, his mum and my mum, yeah. Well, I don't even call her a mum because my mum is not a mum. You understand? She is like what you call it, an incubator. When you just carry the baby, which you should have adopted out, like her brother's kids got found in toilet in St Thomas's. We'll go on to that again, but we will touch ground on all those little things that I've just been poking at. But I'm saying to you now, we have the same blood running through us, just about, because my auntie, which is his mum, yeah, we don't have the same grandfather. So my grandmother, yeah, my donator or surrogate or whatever you want to call her mum, my grandmother, people keep up with the story. My grandmother slept with my granddad's friend and had my auntie. You understand? So when they were growing up now, I don't know if that was a secret. but it's not a secret anymore because everybody know. But I've never met the man. I've asked my cousin, you know, who is your granddad? He said that he's tried to ask his mum. His mum don't want to discuss it or whatever. And you see, this is the problem. Yeah, this is the problem. My cousin surname is the same surname as mine, J family. Yeah, but we don't have the same granddad. Even though my grandmother, yeah, married my granddad, and had his surname by marriage. You understand? But in blood, yeah, he doesn't have my granddad's blood. You understand? So his mum has got the Johnson name. Yeah. So my auntie gave her son the Johnson name. And then he's had four children with three different people, and they've got the Johnson name. So I'm kind of finding it like, are his kids Johnson then? Do you understand? Because we don't have the same granddad, and that's where the Johnson part come from. So in blood, no. Do you understand what I'm saying? But in name, because my grandma have it, I don't know if it's because no, that can't work. I'm really trying to work this out because there's so much secret. Like I saying, nobody's willing to explain anything. I'm trying to ask him, but these are his children. You know the setup now, and it's only through me he's getting to kind of figure it out. And I just said to him, listen, before you go and discussing anybody else's business, know your own business. Yeah? Because if your kids aren't Johnsons, they should have taken their mother's name. Because these three mums, they don't have to have their father's name. They could have took their mum's name. But somehow, them all have that name. And it's when we having these conversations now, he's now realizing, like the pins drop, like, for real. This has never been discussed. This has never been brought up, and if it's been discussed, it's never been brought up with him because he didn't have a clue. So, like I say, people, my particular family, yeah, have so much secret. Some of them are coming out now, but the people who have the secret are not here today. They're deceased. So you're never gonna get the full 100. Everyone's still gonna, and the look of crumbs that's left, my donator and my aunt are not the ones. They cannot explain anything. They're still willing to keep it, and they're old now. They all maybe have dementia. Can't remember. So I can only talk about what I remember and what I know. So, like I keep telling people, I've got what's it name? Three uncles that I remember. Yeah, and my uncle that was into the church, we're gonna call him Uncle B. Yeah, he was married for years. As far as I'm concerned, he had the best wife. Yeah, when I was young, I thought he had the best wife. But the older you grow up, you start hearing things about people. You know what I mean? You start seeing, you have little gathering, my uncle will come. And when my uncle comes, he's always upset about something. But he's a violent, upset person. You know what I mean? So everybody start get tense now, whether it's a christening, funeral, it could be a barbecue. Yeah? So who is supposed to hear these little stories about my uncle, you know? And I just think his little wife, we're gonna call her Miss A, yeah? And she have a little daughter, we're gonna call her Miss L. So my uncle B, he was into the church, but not when I was growing up. He wasn't into the church when I was growing up. He was just a normal black man. Go work, come home. Mrs. A will keep the house very nice. She's always cleaning, always making nice juices. Lovely. You know what I mean? That's the sort of wife I think a man would want. She's very disciplined too. But my uncle was very, very angry. And I just feel, looking back at all these things about the people that I've grown up, I feel like it was like a smoke screen because something made my uncle angry. So it had to be his own testimony, him growing up. He's not, even the brothers and sisters, my mum, my aunt, his brothers, I've never really seen them love on each other. You understand what I'm saying? I see them ask favors. Yeah, my donate is the worst. She's the well bigger. Every minute she want her brother and sister to do something. And it's always hard work. Clean garden, barbecue, set up something. Sorry, people. But yes, my Uncle B, for me, you understand, at least I can say he acted like an uncle to me. Yeah, do you understand what I'm saying? There's some things that I've heard about him that are not nice at all. I don't even know if his kids know. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, as an uncle, he was cool with me. But as a husband, I don't think he was tricky to be with because I think he was tormented. You know, when I'm looking at, I've heard that he was all in a mental house at one time because his head take him, or them call it head chip, because Mrs. A must have left him for a little bit because he was just hot and cold. So, you know what I mean? When I look at all my uncles and even my donator, you know what I mean? They are troubled people. You know what I mean? They don't know if they're going left or right. The only time I saw my family in big spirit is when we're having a party. Let me tell you something. When we used to have a party, you'd have to go and buy a new outfit. You couldn't just roll up, sir. We would have crammed in the cram when it come to partying. Do you know what I mean? But all of that was to show people we have really. It's not really saying we are a happy family. We all gather together and whatever. The only time I see us gather together is when we have our cemetery for Mother's Day or Christmas or something like that. And it's always individual. We never ever. No, it wasn't loving at all. You know, it was just a standard behavior because loving. Now I see loving families. Now I'm an adult. It wasn't my family at all. So, like I say, my uncle B, him have him wife, Miss A, and for years my uncle used to say my aunt, well, Arlene, oh, Mrs. A, you know, is having something a go on. He needs to come and he needs to always stress out everybody and wonder, oh, is the one that is having an affair with his wife. Anyway, years later, we have found out that Mrs. A isn't as clean as I thought anyway. For years, apparently. Yeah, I'm not even saying apparently. Yeah, my uncle that's not here today, that have the whole of a picnic, he done told me said he is being with his cousin's husband. Now you see all these things, people. I'm not saying don't have an affair, but why would you have it in house? Why can't you go out house? Maybe because they were both short. Because the guy was short and she was short, so maybe that was the attraction. But at the end of the day, let me just tell you something, people. The guy that was having the affair with Mrs. A, his wife is top dollar, top hot gal. But obviously that doesn't count. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, because if you're gonna do something, you're gonna do something. So it's not how you look or whatever. It could be an opportunity. It could you and that person is not getting on at that time. But this affair was going on for years. Yeah. And it's at a night of the man that was having the affair. His daughter was deceased, and there was a night. And the side chick, Miss A, she rolled up. She rolled up to the night. Yeah. Hey, Chai. I never see her come. Me, with my nosy self, I saw him and his wife, ex-wife, arguing. And when we were listening, when I say we, me and a couple of cousins, them, we hear them argue, and I hear the ex-wife say, "There was three of us in this marriage." And when you hear that now, you're thinking, what? You start rerounding in your mind and think, hold on a minute. This is what you're trying to tell the like there's somebody here. She's saying, get rid of the woman. She's at the front door. Get rid of her. Hey, when I saw the little short man walk, me run down him and my two cousins them follow. And we went out there and it was Mrs. A. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. The little shy, little short woman. What kind of who Miss A remind me of? A very who kind of think, oh God, just a little tiny lady who talks very quiet. Her clothes are even boring. You wouldn't notice her if she was in a room. Put it that way. Yeah? You have been the side chick of your husband's cousin's husband. Yeah. I know that's a lot to take in, people. Yeah. Mrs. A was sleeping with her husband's cousin. Husband. Yeah. So anyway, that never lasts long because once the secret was out, he was off. Do you know what I mean? So it's better that sometime if you're in the dark, stay in the dark. Don't come out in the light. And all the time, Mrs. A was floating around. Then I got get pregnant at 14. So that's when you know that tricky. You understand? You they're having outside activities, and your picnic is running through window, driving out a window, and having a baby, mate. And how many she have now? Four, three different daddy, always in a problems. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? My uncle Bunny, though, I must admit, I did see him play look at granddad. You know, he'd go around there, take the kids to church, but he was always tormented. It looked like he always wanted Mrs. A back. But Mrs. A mentally, physically moved on now. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And I think even after being dumped as a side chick, yeah, so she turned Christian. You understand? That's what I've heard, but I don't like her. Do you know what I mean? Because as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of people in my family I don't like because it was all a smoke screen. It was all a smoke screen. And like I said, any of them watching it or hear this, yeah, you can say something. Don't feel no way to approach me because this is my truth. If you've got something to say and you're in the J or D family, don't feel no way. The number is 07377147557. Yeah, call it. Leave a comment if you're brave enough. Yeah, if you want to say something to me directly, you can do that. Because I'm sick and tired. Every time, you know, if I talk to a lot of family, and when they say, "Oh, secret," about this, who my dad is, and I'm thinking some of the questions that are asked to me, I just don't understand why everybody finds it difficult to just tell their testimony. I mean, people ask me about loads of little dark secrets that I had. To tell you the honest good truth, they weren't even a secret. I just never told no one. They weren't a secret, but they're out. So if I'm approached and someone said, "Boy, a secret, me, yeah, so you did do this, I can say, "Yeah." And this was going on at the time, and da, 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 or whatever it is. I ain't got no shame in my game. I don't give a F you. Yeah, I don't. So you could ask about the worstest thing that you've heard about me, or even my kids can ask me and say, "Oh, they heard it, someone told them something." I'm coming with the full story. Do you understand? Because it's already out there. So for it to go any further, I can end it here. Do you know what I mean? And then whatever I've told you, you can carry that to the person that told you. Simple. Because if you've got me living in your brain for free, do you understand what I'm saying? I'm on your tongue. I love it. You can chat about me, good news or bad news. Because if Donald Trump can take it, me can take it. It ain't no biggie. I'm not trying to be no one's friend. I am trying to release my mind and not be like my cousins on the D side and the J side that look lost in transit. Do you understand what I'm saying? And this is why I do the podcast, is because I'm seeing people with mental health, anxiety, you know, and just can't free themselves mentally. You know what I mean? So when you ask them something, they just feel like they can't answer or they're still under that, I don't know, what they call it, generational curse. Because it is a curse. Somebody's secret you're holding and it's destroying you. And some of the people that you're holding the secret for, they are not even alive. They're not here today. And this is what I'm saying. It's a lovely day. It's bank holiday. It's sunny. My son is going to Saturday school. I feel free. Once my rent and council tax paid, me have no problem with nobody. But when it comes to all of these little stories and people are, I have to air it out somehow. You understand? I can't keep talking to people on the phone. People want answers. They're not going to their mum. If they do, the mum is not giving them no answer. And I don't see them leaving themselves in a better place. Do you understand? So whether it's my little stories that I'm coming with, there's my truth, your truth, and there's some split justice in the middle. And everybody wants to say what they want to say behind people back, which is easy. You understand what I'm saying? I'm here. You can see my face. You know what I mean? I've got my contact details. I'm not hiding nothing. Yeah. If your name get called by mistake, so be it. Because I just know you by that. I'm trying to just be helpful by not calling out the name. That's what I'm trying to do. But really, truly, I'm not holding back or anything because I don't talk to anyone. No. So it doesn't really matter to me. But anyway, people, I just want to leave it on a good note before I fly out the place because I haven't even had breakfast. It is now 20 past 12. I've gone and bought, we got Brixton, we got Walworth Road. Yeah, man, we drive out today. We do tour one and two. And now I've come home, I've seasoned the meat. Do you understand? We're going to have some ribs. I forget what other meat that we buy that we season up. And I'm going to, yeah, get a nice cup of coffee now and enjoy the little maybe hour I've got by myself before the big one is here, you know. But I very much appreciate your attention, your time, and we're definitely next podcast should be sweet still because I am gonna do the countdown next week for the Big D family story, which is gonna take up a lot of my time. And like I said in the beginning, Miss P, she wants to tell her truth. We've had a chat before, but we're gonna do it over again. And yeah, she is on holiday at the moment. So when she comes back, we'll definitely get onto that. But people, thank you very much for your time. Yeah. Don't forget to press that notification button. Yeah. And like and share everything. And anybody that wants to leave a comment, whether it's good or bad, I appreciate it. But have a good day and thank you for listening.